And we are live. Okay. Hey, y'all. So I'm going to be doing a collective reading today. Um, Let me see. I am trying to figure out which cards I'm going to pull from. It's a full moon. It's a lot going on right now. I want to do like an activation. So I'm trying to decide if I want to pull my tarot or let's do these. Let's start with the tarot card, and then we're going to go from tarot to the oracle cards for confirmation. This is going to be a collective reading. If you would like a personal reading, I am offering them this evening and tomorrow. The readings, I have one question readings that are 11:11 right now. And then the 1 hour sessions that are 44:44. I am also doing a collective money ritual. So if you'd be interested in that or you want to check out my reviews, I do have some. They usually turn out pretty good. The only thing that I ask of those who are getting them is just to make sure that your energy is clean. I make sure that mine is good, but it just helps with making sure that the manifestation goes through a lot smoother. So anyways, I'm going to get into this collective reading. We're going to see what cards we get out of the card today. Sometimes I think that I kind of pause because I see myself while I'm talking. And y'all know I'm used to doing the readings where it's recording. So when I see myself, it's kind of like that other part of me is like, oh, fix your hair. Oh, do this. Oh, you got a pimple here. You need to put on some makeup. It's always, something that pops up in the midst of me trying to go with the flow. I start overthinking. So that's why I kind of be like, should I get up and do this again? Should I go re-record or, just things like that. So the first card that we have that came out is the Six of the Six of Earth, right? And this is someone who is hardworking, someone who is could be in some grounded energy, someone that's connected to nature, or that could be in some type of agricultural work, someone who works with animals, because there's animals here, and the animals that are here are the goat, which represents family. It can represent wisdom. Sometimes the goat, and especially with this bull here, this can be somebody who's like, especially the earth sign, like a Taurus, or someone who is, I don't want to say kind of withdrawn, but someone who can be a little stubborn at times, right? Like, that's the energy that this is kind of given as someone who's grounded, someone who doesn't move like, I don't want to say like super fast or slow, because I'm not picking up someone who moves slow. I just pick up someone who is cautious. Maybe that's the way I should word it. Not someone who's necessarily stubborn, but just someone who is cautious before they move forward, right? So with this particular card, I'm seeing someone, like I said, that's very grounded or very connected to the earth. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up, and someone who could be a hard worker, someone who could be doing some type of work out in nature or working with animals. Let's see what's the next card that's coming out here. The Outcast. Okay, so the Outcast card with this Six of Earth. The Outcast card looks like someone who is taking it slow, like how this first card was saying, but someone who wants to take a leap, right? So with these two cards paired, what I was picking up is someone who may be like grounded, doing, work in nature or whatever the case may be, a hard worker, someone who's focused, but at the same time, like not necessarily stubborn, but they're just kind of slow to move, slow to do something, and not like slow in the head. That's why I'm trying to like say it the best way I can without saying like they're slow. They're not slow. They're cautious, if that's the best way to give it. But with this outcast card here, it's like this is someone who wants to move forward with something, or someone who wants to take a risk. Sometimes the outcast card is about love. Sometimes the outcast card can be about taking a new job offer. But whatever it is, this is like someone who's taking a leap of faith, right? Sis got to go hit her T's after this because I had some makeup on yesterday, and I think my face is having a reaction to the makeup because I see like a pimple that's right there up under my glasses. And my face was perfectly fine yesterday, and today I got that. I'm like, okay, I think it's a reaction to what I had on my face. The message from Water card is here. So we have the Six of Earth, the Outcast card, and the message of Water. The Three of Fire that came out with the message of Water. So I'm picking up someone who has a lot of wisdom. I'm picking up somebody, and this can also go with that Taurus energy. Someone who can be sometimes guarded, but it's like because they're protecting their energy or because they have learned a lot of lessons in life with this message of Water being here. Like this is someone who's learned a lot of lessons. You see the black and the white here. So it's like this person has a little bit of light and dark. They've experienced things from both worlds, positive and negative. They've had a lot of experiences. And I pick up like this person is someone who has gained a lot of wisdom and experiences just from their journey. And this can be somebody who has been a few places, you know, seeing this message of Water here. This Three of Fire is interesting. Let me see what comes behind this. I'm going to pull a couple more cards so I can kind of get like where this is going, because I'm seeing like a personality from a particular person. And like I said, this is somebody who, this is their personality. The first three cards kind of show someone's personality. So this can be you in the collective, but someone who's a hard worker, someone who is kind of cautious, someone who may work in agricultural work or whatever, but also someone who wants to take a leap of faith, right? They want to try something new. The message from Water is here because this is someone who is a very wise person and they understand duality. They understand positive and negative. They've had a lot of experiences in life. So we're going to see now that we have the personality of the person why this Three of Fire is here. Oh, we got two cards. Okay. So we got the Eight of Earth. And we had the message from Earth. Okay, let's see. So there's some money coming in, some type of abundance, right? And I'm picking up someone being in a place where they've been praying about something to manifest, especially with this Eight of Earth being here. And this can be you, collective, like this can be where you've been working towards something and perhaps you have new opportunities or an offer or something going up, or you're just in a place in life where you want to take a leap of faith, like you want to trust something, like you don't know where everything is going, but you know that you want to trust. You've had a lot of experiences in life. You've been through a lot of positive situations and negative, and you know what feels right to you. Sometimes you can be, guarded, but from those different experiences, from light and darkness, from positive and negative, from those experiences, you've gained a lot of wisdom. So and you can feel the room around you, right? Like you can kind of sense when something is for you and something is not. And so what I'm seeing with this Eight of Earth being here is like you could be taking a leap of faith when it comes to your career, with your finances, with your money, especially with the message of Earth being here and following this Three of Fire. Like you can be in a place where you're unsure, but you have a sense of faith about what it is that you want or the direction it is that you want to go in life. And this can be where you're kind of focusing your intentions and what it is that you want is like more money or to be more successful, especially with this Three of Fire. Like somebody could be in a place where they're trying to focus on what they're passionate about. I kind of can get this energy with myself as well, so I can relate. But someone who wants to be like, I want to do what I love doing. I want to do what I'm passionate about. And maybe you've prayed about it. And what I'm seeing is that this is something that's going to come into fruition for you with this message from Earth. The money is going to come to you. Okay, so let's see. The Three of Water is here. So this can be significant. So this can be celebration. This can be success. A lot of abundance. This can represent fertility. Let's see. Undies and mermaids. It's a lot of water. So it's like a lot of water and fire, ain't it? Like it's like emotions and passion is what I'm picking up with these. Somebody could be a mermaid. And I know a lot of my collective is feminines, but they say there's masculine mermaids too. But if you're a mermaid, that means that you may have this very attractive aura, right? Where you naturally just draw people into you. You're very beautiful, very seductive, may be able to connect with your sensuality. You may be able to be really intuitive and in tune with your own emotions as well as others, because mermaids just have that, they're really in tune with water. And so I'm seeing that with this message from Water card, as well as the Undies and Mermaid card right here. So this can be a divine feminine that I'm speaking to. Even though the cards that are at the top show masculines, this can be a female Taurus, or this can be a female, like I said, that's in agricultural work or works with animals or whatever the case. And she could be in a place where she's working on her career or focusing on how to better her career with these money cards being here. And what I'm seeing is that there's a place where she's going from praying to trusting the process, or praying and taking a leap of faith and seeing where things go, but also trusting the process, right? And this is someone who has gained a lot of wisdom from a lot of different experiences. So with this message from Water and with this Undies and Mermaids here, like I said, this is someone who's very intuitive is what I'm picking up. Like she's very connected with emotions, very connected with intuition more than anything, right? So I think when it comes to this wisdom with the duality and experiences, it's like someone is making judgment to trust, their own intuition with a situation. Even when it comes to their finances. So this can be somebody who's like, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you've been called to do this, and you're weighing out the options of how is work and how is entrepreneurship. Even if entrepreneurship isn't going the best today, you know that maybe your experience with it is much better than you working with other people. You know what I'm saying? Or doing something that you don't love doing. Like maybe you're in a place where you're wise enough to know what's good and what's bad for your soul. And that's why this woman is guarded. You know what I'm saying? This is like why she kind of protects her energy. I hope it doesn't cut it off, because sometimes they cut it off because of certain images. But this is kind of like why she's guarded. Like she got a whole shield around her. She's kind of got her back kind of turned, so she's in that energy where she's still moving forward, right? She has a lot of wisdom, but she don't let things get close to her that shouldn't get close to her. She's super protected, especially with, like I said, the shell being around her, and then she uses her wisdom to protect herself. So this can be somebody who, even when it comes to their career path, is doing something that they feel like is best for them. And you could just be weighing out the options there. So let's see. We got the Undies and Mermaids here. This is somebody who could be really good with organizing, especially with the Undies and Mermaids. Like this could be somebody who is naturally good at organizing, or even doing like military work and stuff like that. Anything in those areas. Let's see what we get right here. Someone who's very experienced. Message from air. Someone who's very spiritual, someone who could be a master manifester, or someone who just knows like their power, somebody who prays and they manifest from the things that they pray about. Let's see. The Eight of Water is here. So this can also be somebody who is dealing with some things emotionally that they need to release. And this full moon could be a good time, because sometimes when we are holding on to the look, and oh my gosh, what I was about to say is sometimes when we hold on to dead weight or negative emotions, it brings us down, right? And you see how this, what is this, an octopus, squid, or whatever, this giant thing is pulling down this ship. And it's because of some type of negative emotions that is 212 on the clock. Yeah. Sometimes negative emotions like grief or whatever the case can weigh us down. It makes our heart heavy. So of course it makes the flesh heavy. It makes the mind heavy. So that is why we always try to do what we can to keep our hearts and our spirits high, and keep our hearts in a place of ma'at, and our hearts as light as a feather. Because when we do that, it keeps our soul up. It keeps our vibrations high. It keeps our physical body in a higher state, right? So we are consciously making an effort to, do that. And even if we deal with something that's traumatizing, because things happen, we still have to make an effort to work our ways back into balance and, back into harmony with our own bodies. So, with this, what I'm seeing is that this can be somebody who is dealing with some things emotionally. And this was at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like this is the subconscious mind. This is what is the thing that's going on here, right? Like we see this water here. There's a lot of waters. And like I said, this is someone who's intuitive and can be like really in tune with their emotions. And sometimes with us empaths, like we take in a lot, y'all. We do. Sometimes it's good for us to go out in nature and just release all that stuff and identify what we should carry and what we shouldn't, right? That's a part of us using our intuition. That's a part of us. And I feel like that's why that Taurus energy is there. Because like I said, the Taurus is kind of like bull, like they ain't just letting anybody like just play with them. They kind of stubborn, they don't have a bad personality, but they just have those traits where they may like, drag their foot sometimes or whatever, because of that stubbornness that's in the Taurus. So in this particular situation, and I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be a Taurus, or you may actually have that in your charts, but what I'm saying is that this could be somebody who has that kind of trait, like someone who kind of is cautious, is guarded, or whatever. But see, the thing is, it's like this person is so intuitive, right? The person, like I said, has a lot of wisdom. when you're an empath, a lot of times empaths, they get overwhelmed because they need to remember to ground themselves and to release because they're literally on a different frequency. Their heart is on a different frequency. Their mind is on a different frequency from people who operate on lower vibrations. So that's why you start seeing like some empaths get depressed and stuff like that because they start taking in energetically because they're really in tune with emotions. They're really connected in that area. So it's easier for them to have compassion or to be able to connect with whatever everybody is going through. But they need to learn how to have good boundaries and not take in everything that everybody is going through. Because when they don't, they get weighed down by everybody else's issues. So what I'm seeing here is that card with his emotions, the things that's weighing you down, like maybe taking some time to write those things, write the emotions or whatever it is that you're feeling and release it. Because the person that I'm talking to, what you're trying to manifest is the money, right? Like you're trying to get to that place of wealth. It's there. It's already there. It's like subconsciously there. So it's like it's somewhere floating out there in the universe, but there's something that's blocking it. And what's blocking it is this grief. And I probably need to hear this too, because as much as y'all know I do like money rituals and stuff like that, but sometimes it's flowing and sometimes it's slow. But that's when we have to do that shadow work and really be like, what am I out of alignment with? What? And sometimes the alignment ain't about the people that's around you. Sometimes the alignment is about what you're feeling or what you're thinking for the day. Maybe I'll use this as an example because I do that so that helps you to be able to connect with your situation to figure out what it is that you're out of alignment with. So one of the things is I hold on to the fact that I lost my brother and my cousin, like back to back. That's just something, and it was multiple cousins, but the two closest, people to me, my brother and my cousin, was somebody that I talked to every day. He was like a protector to me. So it's like that created a void in my life that I just could not figure out how to process, because even when I made peace, even when I understood my cousin was still there spiritually, it was like, but why did you have to leave me physically? He was somebody that I talked to, you know what I'm saying? And even though he's still there as an ancestor, it still bothers me because even with my cousin, I don't know if y'all know, but he had chose to commit suicide. And that really bothered me because we talked all the time. So it was just like, you just could have came to me and talked to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I especially I take it personal because I've helped a lot of people, and I felt like if me and him would have just talked, everything would have been okay. And so a lot of that made me feel guilt. That's something that I probably need to release, right? But holding on to that is one of those things that I think about all the time because I can't get him back, right? Like in the physical, like I can't hit my cousin up and be like, cuz, so that's something that I have to work through. And those emotions are things that I had to learn how to process. I had to learn how to move around and do things that emotion and that trauma wouldn't be stored in my body, right? Because when we store trauma and negative emotions in our body, it blocks us from receiving, it blocks us from being healthier, right? That's why you start to see people over time, they start getting unhealthier over time because a lot of times they're really holding on to something that they haven't released and they don't know how to. That's why you have your spiritual guides that's doing the work that can come back and be like, this is how we do X, Y, and Z. So, that's like I said, this is here, but it's at the bottom of the deck. So it's not here until some type of inner work is done. And what I see is the inner work that needs to be done is that release work. So I'm going to take a note of that too, because that was something that I just revealed to myself while doing this collective reading is that I need to release guilt from losing both my cousin and my brother, because my brother was killed when I came home to Georgia last year, and it was just like so many things that you don't get to say again, or you don't, a lot of things that go on in your brain that's just like you just don't get to process it. Like it takes time. And for me, it was like I tried to make peace. I still do the work, but it's you don't forget those people. You know what I'm saying? They were a part of your life. So how do you continue to move? Because you do have moments that you stop and you cry, or you stop and you're hurting, or you just pause. You know what I'm saying? But you just don't want to stay stagnant in it for too long. So you want to be able to work through the emotion and then use that emotion to empower yourself so that you heal and that you become better, right? So now I start taking that energy and transmuting it into something positive. So I get into my creative flow, and I take that pain and turn it into artwork. I take that pain and I go do some push-ups, or I go sit out in nature. But staying stagnant in it doesn't do anything for you. So whoever needs to hear that message is for you. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple more cards from this, and then we're going to go on to some of these activation cards. So let's see. We got the 10 of Earth that came out. Okay, so we get into the money now. we don't reveal what needs to be released, and now the money cards are coming out. So we got the 10 of Earth this year, and the 10 of Earth is this is the 10 of Coins, right? And this can also be about collaborations coming in, because I did see the 3 of Earth under this, right? So a lot of times with the 10 of Coins, this is about material gain. This is about material wealth. This is about inheritances, right? So let's say that you have children, you will be passing down to your children an inheritance when this card comes out in your reading. You can also be receiving an inheritance when this card comes out in your reading. But also keep in mind that the 10 of Coins is about partnership, right? And you have the 3 of Earth that is behind it. So this can also be about you and someone else. It can be your person or whatever the case coming together. It's 222. Hey, that's the number right there. It's 222 on the clock. So 222 is when you align with somebody that you're supposed to align with, right? If you ever see 222, when you're around people, it's a reason that those people are in your space. It's a reason that they're around you. There's some type of soulmate. There's someone that's a guide or something like that you're supposed to connect with in this life, right? So y'all make sure if you've been seeing that number, that is something that you're supposed to be doing in that space. You're at the right place. You are having the right thoughts, or you're doing something that's in alignment with your path. But we were talking about the money, right? And we were also talking about balance, because the 10 of Earth is the 10 of Coins card. So a lot of times when this card comes out, like in the other decks, it's showing a couple that is working together to balance out a home. And this couple is creating an inheritance to pass down to their children. So they're building material wealth together, and they're passing it down to the babies. So that's what this card is about. So it can also be about partnerships, especially with this 3 of Earth card coming out here, because this is the 3 of Coins. It's collaboration. It's people working together. And you see what was I just talking about with the inheritance? You see how these two are working together, and it's a baby right here. So this can also be, like I said, 2 people who are passing things down. They're working together to build some type of material wealth and passing things down to the little ones. So let's see. Okay. Okay, the ancestors get louder, don't they? What I just say. So see how they redirecting this? Do that release work for this full moon, y'all, and watch how your life shifts. So once you do this release and your money start flowing in, you also gonna get this love that's coming in. And this was at the top, this was at the bottom, and she's the goddess of love, right? She's the goddess of love, of healing, of abundance. And then you got the two of water. So the two of water is the two of cups. This is the marriage card. Like, this is the soul connection. This is a connection that harmonizes, right? I just seen 30-30. Y'all could be seeing 30-30 or threes. This is the connection that has an emotional connection here, right? This is a very deep and spiritual connection because water deals with spirituality. Water deals with emotions. Water deals with intuition, right? So this can be a very spiritual connection. And I'm also seeing like a little aura. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's like it's surrounding them, like a aura. There's like a little clear aura in the water around them. And so they both can be like two very strong aura people who are coming together in a connection, and it's love and healing there. This is what's coming in the future. It's 3131 on that timer. This is what's coming in the future because it's at the bottom of the deck, right? This is manifesting. This is taking place. This is what you can't see. This happening. It's taking place, right? So let's see what's coming with this love. A tower. What's up under here? Okay, we gotta. Do I need to tell them all of this? Somebody going through a major change. Hold on. All right. So I asked what was coming with this love. We got the Tower card, but it's happening fast, right? It's happening like really fast. The Tower card is here. This ain't a bad thing. This is a good thing because it's followed by the Nine of Fire and the Star card. I'm trying to cover up the body because they be cutting stuff off on YouTube now. Why they be making art like that? They know we be using this stuff. Maybe we're not supposed. They're like, whoever drew this was like, well, tarot is sacred. You're not supposed to use these on YouTube. But this is happening really fast. And what's happening with this love? This is like this Nine of Fire and this Man card. Somebody's like going through a major change, like a major shift, right? This shift can be making this person activate into their higher self. Because the Fire card came out, like somebody's going through some type of purification. You got the Nine of Fire here and the Fire card. So somebody's going through a purification right now. That's what this Tower card is. So even when it comes to the love connection, somebody can be going through some type of major shift. This can be you or this can be your person. This purification is needed because it's bringing about super big changes. And I really feel like this is y'all person because the masculine energy is here, right? So I think this is something that you're going to be expecting from your person or something that's going to happen. They're going through a shift. This shift is requiring them to be disciplined. You see how this man is here in the white? This shift is making him purge, it's making him cleanse, and he has these candles around him. So it's literally changing him into this Star card. It's changing him into the divine space that he needs to be in. So there could be a change that's also taking place in your love life that is turning around to a place where it's turning around to a place where it's calling him to his higher self, because this Oshala card is here. This is taking him into a place where he's having to, or I don't want to say he's being forced to ascend, but he's growing up. So even if you can't see it, it's something that's taking place spiritually. This is the Emperor card. You got it with the Star card. This is the Oya card, and y'all know how Oya comes in with that forceful energy. Like, she comes in and it can be destructive, but it's for the best of things. Like, she's coming in with justice. She's coming in with that change. So Oya can also feel like the Tower card, because she's coming in with that force, like whether it's a storm, a hurricane. I don't know if she does hurricanes. Is Oya over the hurricanes? Or is it Yamaya? But she's coming in with the storms. You know, that's why she's up there. She's coming in with the storms. So she's coming in and she's clearing shit out. Like I said, this is a purification that's taking place. That's why this fire card is here. That's why this man is on the ground. Your person is going through a purification. That's why this card is here. Because it's like, oh, it's an energy around them. It's like, we gotta tear everything up. This out in the way of them getting here to this divine masculine energy, to this Emperor energy. So that's what I'm seeing when it comes to your connection in love, is that the divine feminines are connecting with their power. They can be in a place, like I said, that they have their guards up, but they're following their intuition. They're trusting the process, focusing on their money. Not really was picking up like they focusing on love right now, but can be in love, right? So what I'm seeing with the divine feminines is like they trying to get that money going. And those manifestations are coming in, but they need to release some of what's no longer serving them. I'm not saying you got to release. I'm going to always have a connection with my brother. That's impossible to release him, right? So I can't sit and say, David, I release you. It's impossible. Like, David was a part of my life for my life. Like, that's impossible. You never let go of people like that. Once they're a part of you, they're always a part of you. You're never separated, even between life and death. But you can let go of the hurt. You can let go of regret. You can let go of, guilt, whatever emotions come with it. And this might not be your situation where you dealt with somebody who had a death. It can be a situation where you lost your job, you feel bad about it, and you just replaying that over and over to a point that you ain't moved forward to get another one. You failed at school or something like this. You failed at your marriage. You failed at the test that you was, and you stay stuck. Your mind's still stuck on replaying it over and over. How, why, this is, and you do that and you start telling yourself you're not good enough, or telling yourself you can't do this, or telling yourself to be very careful because you don't want it to happen again. You start to self-sabotage yourself. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to release the emotions, because emotions are a part of the universe. They're not supposed to be held within the vessel, right? We're supposed to feel it and then let it go back out. And that's how you master becoming, going into the flow state, is feeling that emotion and working it out. And when we do that, we can create an environment within our own bodies that our heart is a little bit lighter each day. So we don't want to stay sad. We don't want to stay in grief. We don't want to stay in anger. We don't want to be in places that will not help us to grow, right? So that is, something that's needed for all of us. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some activation cards. Oh wait. So I was going over everything. So the feminists need to release, but then when you release, money gonna come in, right? And then the love life is also gonna start working itself out. So you may be in a relationship or you may not be, but for those who are, what I'm seeing is that you're in a place where your relationship and your love life is harmonizing. And it's not just harmonizing, but your person is going through a purification that is necessary for them in order for them to step up to be in the emperor energy, which is the provider, the protector, the one who is there to protect the divine feminines. Okay? So, in order for him to be a divine masculine, he has to go through his purification process. And divine feminines, in order for you to get leveled up, you got to release those things that's no longer serving you. All right, so let's pull some cards from. I'm going to pull some activation cards. But which ones do I pull? Let's see. Work Your Light, or what are these? Let's do the Work Your Light, because what I want to do is help you to activate even after you release, right? To have some form of confidence in what it is that you're doing. Because right now, all I'm seeing is that you need to release, but let's see what other messages come out with this. So for this full moon, I'll be doing some releasing. I'm going to do some manifesting too, because why not? It's a super full moon, and I know how to do it, cleanse, and go to the next thing. But I'm going to do some releasing as well, because I think it will help. So we got the warrior woman that came out and says, have you answered your deepest calling? Have you answered your deepest calling? So whatever that calling is, somebody needs to pick up the phone and say, yes, I choose me and I'm going to do this today. If you're unsure about what that is that you need to do, we can definitely do a purpose reading where we look into your purpose and figure out what that is. But a lot of times you know what it is. It's just we allow ourselves to stay in the illusions and stay in stagnant places that we don't really just answer that call. Like a lot of times, because we were all sent here for something, right? Everybody has some type of vision or something that's on their heart that they wish that they could do for the world, that they wish that they could do for their community, that they wish that they could do for a family, to help a family out. Everybody has that in them. But the thing is, are you going to activate the warrior and actually do it? Because this is a woman who has a sword in front of her because she's ready. She's ready to fight. And swords in tarot are about taking action, about going, full force. And a lot of times it can be a mental thing. So you can know what it is that you've already been called to do, but it can be mental battles that you're just like, I want to do this. Well, what's stopping you? That's something to figure out during this full moon. What's stopping you from stepping into this? Is it you just making excuses? Is it habits that you have? Is it the people that you have around you? Is it distractions? Is it something that you can cut out that isn't helping you to get to this? Because if you were called to do something, then that's just what you should do, and don't make excuses. Because if you were called to do something, like if the Most High called you to fulfill a purpose, like who are you really abandoning? You know what I'm saying? Like we can say all day long, like, well, I got to work all the time, so I'm not able to do this. I got to, 1,001 responsibilities in the world, so I'm not able to do this. Basically, what you're saying to the Most High is, I'm going to break the contract with you to do contracts with everybody that's in this world. And and this is why I say, like, be in the world, but not of it. Because when you have something that God has given you, that's a gift, right? Like the creator or creatress themselves gave you something to apply here on this planet. Are you applying it? Are you using it? Do you believe that if God gave it to you, then God will see you through it? And that's what a lot of people, like in the stories in the Bible, like they were called to do something and they just did it. It don't tell you, and sometimes you see like even the things that was in the stories, like the struggles they went through, the people who were against them, the people who tried to fight them. You know, they was in battles and wars and stuff like that. But you know what? They did and fulfilled their purpose. And that's really what we're supposed to get from the Bible. But they kind of hyped it up to a point where people took so much of it literal that they became idols of the figures instead of really understanding the story, right? And the story is just something that actually came from our ancient stuff, which we were already teaching, and they kind of took it and added their own twist to it. So each of us in our culture, we're taught each of us are born with a purpose, but we identify that purpose, one, through divination, through reading our birth charts. And usually when you're born, initially in our cultures, we used to do all of those things when the child was born. We take the date, the time, and all of that and be like, okay, this is the name of the baby. And really in some cultures, the baby was named based off of the day that they were born, the season that they were born in. So in Africa, you born on a Tuesday, you know, and you're a boy, your name is what, or Thursday, whatever, is whatever. I forgot my name, but I have multiple names. Like I have NY Mayat, which is born in the ways of Mayat, which I got that name through initiation. I don't even have that name on social media. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't really have a reason to change it from what the name is on social media, but the people who call me that are the people that's specifically from my soul group, that's specifically from that lineage, right? So there's different customs to how we used to identify the purpose, the name, and all of those things in our culture that we just have disconnected from because we've become so colonized, and people think it's satanic or whatever. It's not. It's what's going to help you to grow. It's what's going to help you to be the best version of yourself in this life if you apply it. So with this situation, like I said, all of us are given some type of purpose, but the question is, do we answer it? Do we trust the Most High enough that if we fulfill the purpose that we were sent to fulfill, that we're going to be protected regardless of what things look like, whether it's work, bills, whatever. If you answer the call, and this can be for the divine feminist with this warrior woman here, especially since at the beginning of the reading, we had the Fool's card that came out about somebody taking a risk. And it looked like the risk that they were taking was pertaining to something with money. So this can even be a situation where you don't care about the money. You just care about doing what feels right. You're listening to your heart. You're listening to your intuition. So you learn a lot of lessons. And some of those lessons can be that money ain't everything. Some of the lessons may be that you need more money. Take it how it resonates, because everybody's situation is going to be different based off of the experiences that they've had in their life. But your situation may be like, what God called me to do, I felt like was greater than anything that I could, and I can say this from my own experience. God called me to do something, right? And that wasn't to go to work. God actually came to me. My ancestors actually came to me and was like, this is what we want you to do. We want you to do this for the community. We called you and incarnated you for this specific purpose. And it was like, okay. And when they came to me and I seen them people tell me this, it was like, guide me to it. Now, some days it's kind of like, oh, what am I doing here? Like, y'all brought me here and I'm in a roadblock. Why am I in a roadblock right now? But you know why those roadblocks can be there? Like I said, sometimes we can be holding on to something that we need to release, or sometimes it can be a purification. Some people can be literally going through a purification that's necessary to get past the obstacle that they need. So with that warrior woman card there, divine feminines, just take it how it resonates for you. The next card that came out was the Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So you got to trust. Like you got to really trust your ancestors. You got to trust the process, because your guidance is already you already intuitive. Your ancestors and spirit guides probably already communicating with you. Like I said, did you answer the call? They probably already communicating with you and telling you what you need to do. And are you listening? Are you actually, they told you what you need to do. Did you do it? You feel me? Because sometimes we'll have that little, I should do this, or I should do that, or I need to do this. I seen 555, but then we don't do it. We procrastinate. And when we procrastinate and when we become indecisive, especially when the ancestors or God call us to do something, you know what we doing? Kind of working against God. Because God's saying, hey, go do this. Big God. You hear what I'm saying? Big God is saying, hey, go do this. And you sitting there like, I heard God tell me to go do this, but 10 days later, big God down there looking like the disobedience of this child. But you know what that's a test of? It's a test of not only obedience, it's a test of faith, right? It's a test of trust. Because who do you trust more? Do you trust the creator, or do you trust this world? Do you trust the creator? Do you trust God, or do you trust these things that's around you? And this was something that you see with a lot of the people, like I said, that was in the Bible. Like, they got tempted. When you look at the what's his name, Job, and it was talking about like how everything was taken away from Job and everything, but he still stayed as a faithful servant, because it wasn't about those things. It was about the Most High saying, this is what I need you to do. And sometimes the things around us, we lose these things or whatever, but they're all just a part of our human experience. It's a part of us also learning detachment, because sometimes we can hold on to things and we're not meant to hold on to everything. We're supposed to experience this human life. And when we really have, God at our head, or the divine ancestors at our head, we can experience this life to the fullest. And we don't have to have lack. But when we are tempted into these low vibrations and things, that's what it's meant to do, is to block our mind from getting these good things, because those things don't come from God. God would never stress you out. God would never, you know what I'm saying, do things that would hurt you. And so that's why in your journey, you have to trust the Most High. But yes, you are divinely guided. So that is something that the spirit guides and God, the Most High, wants you to know, the creator and the creatress. And yes, I do believe we have a divine mother and a divine father, because that is what it shows in the ancient texts, is that God is not just man, but God is also woman. It was both of them. So yeah. Oh my God. Y'all, your ancestors, after this reading, let me tell y'all something. Whatever you've been called to do, you better go do it. You got to answer the call. No more time to procrastinate. All right. We got, what is your soul calling you to do? This is all about your calling. Divine feminines, divine masculines. What is your soul telling you to do? A lot of times, and I'm going to say this since it was about money at the beginning of the reading, I'm going to say this as an entrepreneur for myself. My ancestors came to me and told me I needed to protect my children. They told me that I needed to be divine. I pulled my children out of school because it was a certain thing that they was telling me to do. And it was just like, nope, sit here. Learn your power as a Himmat and Toro. Sit here. Learn your skills, learn your powers, discipline yourself. No, I kept trying to run from myself. No, we sent you here to do this. You're going to learn this skill. I kept trying to run from myself. No, okay, it was all about discipline. I had to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, even with entrepreneurship. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but I had to do what they called me to do. I couldn't do things based off of fear, not doing things based off of survival. I had to do things out of my power. And that is when you go through that major shift in life, you go through that tower moment, because sometimes we cling on to things because we think that that's what gives us power. But what really gives you power is you. Okay? It's in you already. All and everything that you need is within, right? Everything that's on the outside is a part of you. Yes, it's still a reflection of your reality. It's still there. It can still be supportive and all of these things, but you're the answer to your problems. You're the answer to the problems. Because when you go within, you sit with yourself, a solution will come to you. So in this here, where someone should be answering the call, where someone should be, and the fact that it said this twice, have you answered your deepest call? Have you answered the call? They really want to know, have you answered your calling? Like, if you ain't doing that, what we talking about? That's what Big God said. So I'm saying that because if y'all come to me for a love reading, Big God gonna be like, you want me to tell you the answers from heaven so that you can peep in on this, and you ain't listening to Big God? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. When we get these readings, we really connecting to the divinities to get the answers that y'all are seeking. So a lot of people I know do come for love readings, but they should be coming to get readings on their divine purpose, because you can align with somebody for love, for comfort. But if that's not your person, if you're not doing it correctly because you're not whole and you're operating and loving these people off of attachment wounds that you have, off of the things that your parents taught you about love, because those things might not always be correct. I'm just being honest. I'm just letting y'all know it's a lot of toxic relationships out here that's normalized today. If you're basing these things off of outside shit, I done seen people who have based relationships off of stuff that they see on. I don't listen to social media podcasts about love. I don't sit and watch people on their rants on social media and stuff about love. I don't even entertain that. Why? Because that's a reflection of their wounds. That's a reflection of their reality. Like I said, sometimes you got to really pull away from the other things. What is God telling you? Right? God didn't make us to be alone. So what is God telling you about it? And then operating from that God space and not that survival space, not that space of, those low frequency vibrations like lust or whatever the case, looking for money, whatever the case may be. But you want to make sure that whatever you do is in alignment with God, even with your career in life. You want to make sure you ain't just jumping out there for a job because you just need the job. You want to make sure that it aligns with your calling. And this is what I try to get everyone to understand, because everybody think we going to heaven. Everybody think we're going to go to heaven because we was good people and we had good heart. That's not what's going on here. We don't learn about this through a corrupted spiritual system, right? And you should know it's corrupted because that's what led y'all into tarot and spirituality, is realizing that it was a lot of corruption in the churches. It was a lot of messy stuff going on. And somewhere in your soul, you was just like, intuitively that God ain't in that. Not saying that God can't be in those people, but intuitively you feel something is off, right? It's a message behind it. Sometimes it's empowering, but sometimes the soul food ain't right. The cooking just ain't cooking, it ain't feeding the soul like it should. Something's still a little off. You know why? Because a lot of it was built off of lies. A lot of y'all that watch this channel, it's not that hard to figure out. There's no rocket science behind it. We know that. That's what led this generation into more spirituality and trying to find the truth, because a lot of people are truth seekers now, and a lot of people really want to know the truth, like myself. That's how I got in my journey. It was because I want to know the truth, and that's a good thing. If God lays it on your heart somewhere in your life to want to know the truth about you, about God, because who the hell want to go to hell? So it was like, for me, it was like, dang, people can go to hell for this, and that. Like, my thing was, because I'm a thinker, it's like, well, there's billions of people on this planet. And when you read the book of Revelations, it's like, but it's saying that it's only so big. It's only so many people that's going to get in. So why is it so many religions? And why are there so many people who say that everybody getting into heaven? Like, if all these people who done died before me that got into heaven, then it ain't no space for me when I cross over, because millions of people, billions of people, trillions of people have died before me. You see what I'm saying? So the math was not mathing for me. And even though I'm spiritual, the math wasn't mathing. And guess what? My eye is math. So something just wasn't adding up there. So I went to go and learn a little bit more, and then I got into the ancient stuff, and I'm like, oh, so you get a little bit more precise in what heaven is and understanding what's really going on. Even with New Age spirituality now, they're not doing it correctly, because they're just saying, oh, it's a state of mind. Yeah, okay. You tell them little people that's out here doing what the hell they want to do in spirituality that, and figure out what's going to happen when they cross over to that spiritual court. You know what I'm saying? Because there is still deities and divinities that judge us when we cross over. Every single day. Everything that we do. So when you get to them divinities, when you cross over, it don't matter if you had a good heart. Did you do what they sent you to do? Each of us was sent here by our spiritual parents to fulfill a certain purpose. And when we don't fulfill that purpose and we circle back around to them, they're going to be like, what the hell was you down there doing? Just playing around? Oh, you thought it was about money down there. You thought we sent you down there for that. Oh, you thought it was about drinking and partying, and you thought we sent you down there for that. You feel what I'm saying? They will weigh your heart. And if your heart is too heavy to get through, they're going to send your tail right back. And guess what? You're going to come back with the same traumas, with the same drama. And they might put a little extra on there. And that extra is going to come in to be like, really make you question yourself, to be like, why am I doing this? Why is my life like this? And then you go through a revelation. And that revelation is, you got to change some things around in order to get right. And that's what happened with me. Like, my ancestors came to me and they started showing me certain things. I'm like, oh, Lord, like, they got us out here just living all type of crazy, because we following a culture that is not righteous. Like, we're following a culture that it has poor morals, the system is trash, the religions are trash, and it's all just a form of controlling people's minds, but keeping those people at a limit so that they do not get further than what they've been fed mentally, spiritually, so spirituality is supposed to help you to elevate if it's actually being used correctly. It's supposed to help you to heal, to manifest the best life that you can have possible, and so on. And your ancestors, this go back to when you answer your calling, because that's a part of spirituality. That's a part of your journey. When you actually accept that calling and you take that leap of faith, then your path is already orchestrated. Like, you already have, I seen that card. I think I'm going to, oh no, it's right here. Like this one right here. And I was just talking about the spiritual court, the council of light. You have the divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So you got people that's helping you when you're in your purpose. And this is at the bottom of the deck. So this is something that you might not always see. But if you trust and you have that faith, just that little mustard seed of faith is all you need. Like, it might feel uncomfortable, it might look like shit is crazy or whatever the case may be, but if you just trust just that little bit, that if you stick with the purpose, that your path is divinely orchestrated, you're going to have helpers that's going to come help you because you're in alignment. All right. But when you go out of alignment, there's this thing that they say, like in African culture, whenever any of us step out of alignment with what we're supposed to be doing, that's when we lose our ashe. And our ashe is our protection. So when we step away from our path, it's like and they say this in Christianity too. Like, I used to hear this when certain people die, that is their angels, because all of us are supposed to have assigned spirit guides or assigned ancestors, assigned angels, right? Guardian angels. And I was taught that when somebody would die, sometimes it was because their angel stepped out of the way. And it can be because the person kept repeating certain things, like they kept getting in shit and shootouts or whatever, and then it finally caught up. Like certain people who live certain lifestyles and then it catch up to them, because you're protecting, your angels can only protect you so much, right? So going back into the ancient stuff, each of us are assigned deities. Each of us have our own deities, which are divinities that work with us from the time we are incarnated into this earth, from the time we enter from our mother's womb. When those deities are assigned to us, they're there to guide us and to protect us from anything that comes against us, because they're working through us, right? Those divinities you can't play with because they're righteous and they're God. All right. So God will literally work through you. Those divinities will work through you. But when you start going out of order and you start doing things that are not in alignment with what they called you to do, it's like your parents will take their hands off of you and be like, hey, I done did all I can, man. I sent you down there, and this is why one of the 42 laws of Ma'at is, I will not work against my ancestors. Because when you start doing things that goes against them, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your path, you're hurting your purpose, and all of those things. So this is a reminder with this card here that you have ancestors and spirit guides that will lead you and show you what it is that you need next. If you listen, if you discipline yourself, if you trust the process. This is why I said go within, because if you go within, they'll reveal it to you, because your ancestors are working through you. They already in the vessel. That's why if you actually look at all those videos about, I don't know, I can't think of the guy's name, but you know, he's like the guy that he talk about metaphysics a lot. And I want to say his name, Bobby or something like that, but it ain't coming to my head right now. But he talks about how the ancestors are in your organs and stuff like that. And I think Dr. Layla Africa talks about this too, if y'all ever check out his books. They're in the organs in the body. They're in the chakra system. So there's a spiritual deity that sits within each chakra system. There is a celestial being or parent that sits within each chakra system. Your body is like an altar for a soul, but it can have multiple spirits that can work through it. That's why when people are chaotic or they crazy, sometimes they got some crazy ass spirits attached to them. That's why people need to go through. That's why you have to go through certain cleanses and exorcisms and stuff like that, because some people literally have bad spirits attached to them that they got to do certain things to get them unattached. So when you allow the divinities and not negative spirits to work through you, but actually allow divinities to work through you, then they will guide you into becoming the best version of yourself, becoming the master of self, They will help you to become your God self, right? Because these are master manifestors. These are gods. Like, I don't even know how to put a label on them, because their powers are, you just can't compete with it. And there's no other spiritual system who has anything that can compete with it, because the other spiritual systems were created off of lies. Like, they made fictional characters, whereas when you look at the ancient stuff, our ancestors, we had real ancestors that was doing this stuff. Okay, so even with the divinities, even though they have animal heads and stuff like that you may see, it was because it was to describe certain traits or things, you know what I'm saying, that represents certain deities. But yes, we did have God DNA, or whatever you want to call it. That's a whole nother topic, y'all. I just wanted to kind of share that, because that's the only way that I can really tell you to connect with your divinity, is if you really connect with the divinities, with the ancestors. And we ain't just talking about like your grandparents, your great grandparents and stuff like that, but we're talking about like the ones that created all of us, and connect with them. So I'm going to pull one more card from this deck, and that's going to be my activation. I did this thing for an hour, so I hope y'all got the message. I was going to pull more cards, but I don't think I want to do no 2 or 3 hours on here. If y'all want a personal reading, though, y'all can book. And the last card that came out was Share Your Voice. Come out of the cave, persecution and expression. The card at the bottom of the deck, somebody may just need to be grounded. I know I said this the last card, but this was at the bottom. So somebody may need to get grounded. Again, empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. That's needed. Okay, so you don't get overwhelmed. Share your voice. Come out of the closet. So it may be meant for you to be a speaker, or to speak up for others, or whatever your purpose is. Like, if that's what you're supposed to be doing, do your thing. All right. And that's pretty much what I have for this reading. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And like I said, if you want a personal reading, I'll be doing readings for the rest of the week. And y'all have yourselves a wonderful day. Peace, love, and light.